NXT TakeOver 36 is this Sunday, and as always, here are my predictions for the show. What's going on, everyone? I am Cody, aka your authors of wrestling, and today I'm going to be talking about my NXT TakeOver 36 predictions. Now, this should be a pretty exciting show. Like always, NXT pretty much goes all out for takeovers. There really hasn't been a bad one to my knowledge. Few like hit or misses with like one single match, but that's been about it. They always pretty much deliver, and this one I don't think is going to be any different. There's a lot of really big matches on this card, so let's go ahead and just get right into it. We have the $1 million championship on the line. Current title holder LA Knight will defend against Cameron Grimes one more time, but the stipulation this time is if Cameron Grimes wins, then he gets the championship, of course. But if LA Knight wins, he now has Cameron Grimes as his butler and Ted DiBiase as well. So there's a lot of stakes in this match. And I think we've seen Cameron Grimes come through enough with everything they're doing. I think the storyline is pretty much there. I think it's time to put the strap on Cameron Grimes and have him just go over like crazy, because you know what? This man is already headed to the moon, and it's time to put the strap on him. It's time. It makes a lot of sense. Cameron Grimes goes over and new $1 million champion, and I don't know what this is going to mean for LA Knight or anything, but I think Cameron Grimes with Ted DiBiase by his side with the $1 million championship is going to be really entertaining. Everything that they've done so far has been extremely entertaining, and surprisingly, LA Knight and Cameron Grimes have been a huge asset to NXT, and they've been one of my favorite parts of each one of the shows, honestly. Next up, we have Kyle O'Reilly versus Adam Cole 3, I believe, and this one is a 2 out of 3 falls match. The first one, so each one has different stipulations, so it's more so like a 3 stages of hell, I believe, if that's the correct term. Or so the first one, Kyle O'Reilly picked the stipulation for that. It is going to be a good old-fashioned singles match. The second stipulation was picked by Adam Cole, and he decided it should be a street fight. And then William Regal said that if it did get to that third fall, that he would decide what happened. The two guys broke out into a big brawl as that was all happening, and William Regal just flat out said, you know what? If you guys make it to the third fall, it's going to be a steel cage match. So we all know it's going to go to the third fall, and it's going to be crazy. This is definitely going to be one of the bigger matches of the night. And more than anything, I think it's going to be pretty reflective on what happens with Adam Cole. So as of what we know, Adam Cole's contract has expired with WWE, and he's currently working on a handshake deal through this event. So through SummerSlam weekend, Adam Cole is done. So maybe if Adam Cole wins here, he continues to have a future in WWE. But maybe if Kyle O'Reilly goes over here, that means that Adam Cole has not decided to re-sign with WWE, and he will maybe take his business to AEW, which is where I would expect him to go. Either way. But with that being said, you know, Adam Cole is one of the best people that have ever been in NXT. So I'm going to go with Adam Cole. Despite everything else, I think Adam Cole is going to win, and I guess we'll see what happens afterwards. It's a very exciting time in professional wrestling, if you ask me. There's a lot of wheels turning right now. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on. Next up, we have Raquel Gonzalez defending her NXT Women's Championship against her former friend, Dakota Kai. So just a couple of weeks ago, Dakota Kai turned on Raquel Gonzalez, kicking her in the back of the head, if I remember correctly. And so now here we are, fast forward, Dakota Kai is getting herself a women's championship opportunity. Now, there's been a lot of rumors about NXT kind of changing and going back to the way that it used to be when it was on the WWE network. And then it will be more of a developmental situation, developmental brand, if you will. And more so that it never changed from a developmental brand, and it was never a third brand in WWE's eyes. So if that's the case, the other rumor is that there's going to be a new logo and that they're going to stop focusing on people who are over the age of 30 and are short. So this kind of leaves me to believe that Raquel Gonzalez is going to go over and retain her championship against Dakota Kai. Another reason why I think that is because Dakota Kai has been doing dark matches for WWE. I can't remember if it was for Raw or SmackDown or both, but I believe she's been on it a couple of times now, and she even lost to Ilja, who has, I guess I assume she's been moved up to the main roster in exchange for Mandy Rose, who has gone to NXT. So based off those two things alone, I'm gonna go with Raquel Gonzalez retaining here. Afterwards, man, I really don't know what's next for Raquel Gonzalez, and even if Dakota Kai wins, I don't know what's next for her. But I would assume that whoever doesn't win here is probably going to be headed up to the main roster at some point in time. Next up, we have one of the crazier matches out of this whole entire pay-per-view, and honestly probably the weekend as well. We have Walter defending the NXT UK Championship against Ilja Dragunov. So this is the second time that they've faced off. Walter has had the championship for like over 700 days, if I remember correctly, something along those lines. It's been crazy. And from what I understand, this championship has only changed hands on American soil as well. So I don't know, maybe the time has come. Maybe the time has come. Maybe Ilja Dragunov is the one to take that NXT UK championship off of Walter. And if that's the case, I wouldn't be surprised to see Walter stay in NXT, the American NXT, for quite a while. I think that, you know, maybe the same fashion that Pete Dunne did. I was kind of expecting to see Imperium retain the tag, or sorry, not retain. I was kind of expecting Imperium to win the tag team championships this Tuesday on NXT and kind of play into a whole thing where they have championships and then Walter loses it, but then he sticks around in NXT. Maybe get that crazy match between Samoa Joe and Walter, or Karrion Kross and Walter, whoever retains out of that. But we all know it's going to be Samoa Joe. So I don't know. I guess we'll just have to kind of see how that plays out. But for this one, I'm going for the crazy and new. I'm going for Ilja Dragunov. I'm going for history here. That's what I think. It's gonna be crazy. Next up, we have our main event match of the night. That is NXT champion Karrion Kross defending against Samoa Joe. Now, Samoa Joe was released by WWE, and then he somehow, some way made his way back to NXT. And at first he was kind of inserted into this bodyguard role, if you will. He was like an authority figure to help protect William Regal and help get NXT as a whole under control. And him and Karrion Kross just butted heads too much, and Karrion Kross stepped over the line and Samoa Joe ended up stepping down, and he was provoked, if you will. And now Samoa Joe was allowed to get in the ring. He is cleared, and he is now an NXT competitor. He is an official active superstar on the NXT roster. So here we are, fast forward, Karrion Kross, Samoa Joe. I gotta go with Samoa Joe. I do. I think that Karrion Kross is going to be headed up to the main roster. They're probably going to use him on Raw or SmackDown, most likely Raw, if I had to guess. I mean, he's already on Raw as it is, and he has some sort of thing going on with Jeff Hardy where they just keep trading wins back and forth in like 2-minute matches. I think the last match they had was like 45 seconds long or something like that. So I don't really know what is going to happen for that, but I really think that Samoa Joe is going to win the NXT championship here. He will be the first ever 3-time NXT champion, so that would be pretty cool. And I think it just kind of opens the door for a lot of cool dream matches that a lot of people want to see. I think this one's pretty easy. I think it's going to be Samoa Joe, and I think we're going to see this whole weird new era of NXT come about. And it's kind of frightening, but it's kind of interesting in the same sense as well, because I have no idea what to expect. I do know that back in the day, the hour-long version of NXT that was on the WWE network, that was my favorite version of NXT. And if they're somehow going to get back into that position and get back into focusing on what they do best, then that's going to be great for NXT as a whole. I guess we're just going to have to sit tight and see how that goes. But as always, if you guys like this video, please make sure to hit that like button somewhere down around this area. Also, if you did enjoy it, please make sure to subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. We are on the road to 2,000 subscribers. I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Also, more importantly, please make sure to leave your predictions down in the comments. I'm definitely going to be going through them and seeing what you guys think. There's a lot of stuff going on with NXT. There's a lot of moving wheels in professional wrestling right now. Like I said, it seems like people are going to get called up from NXT. It seems like Adam Cole may be leaving. So I definitely want to hear all of your thoughts on that as well. I just love discussing all of this stuff, and it's a crazy weekend. So we have a lot of things to discuss. We have a lot of videos to make. We got a lot of post shows to do. We might even have some watch alongs. I've been wanting to do those for quite a while. So I guess we'll just see how that goes. So as always, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I will see you in the next video. Have a good rest of your night. Peace.